Good crafternoon, everybody. I'm Heavenly Hedgehog. Welcome to the stream. Good crafternoon is the stream where we just work on stuff and hang out for a couple of hours. I know the last couple of streams, several streams, I've been working on my cake purse. I'm still working on that, but I have found two major things that I need to change for the next version, so feeling a little less motivated to complete this one. So I decided to change it up a little bit. I don't know what you're working on, but I'd love to hear about it. I'm going to be working on some sketches for a Daughters of the Eyrewood cosplay that I have been thinking about all week. If you don't know what Daughters of the Eyrewood is, you can check it out at pennyarcade.com. I think there's a dash in there somewhere. It's one of their side projects where it's a world that is covered by a giant forest. Hi there, kitty kitty snake Chloe. You are more on time than I am then. I just got here. It's wonderful to see you again. How are you doing today? So as I was saying, the Eyrewood is a world that's covered by a giant mystical forest. And there's three factions within it. There's the Lookouts, who are basically, they protect the towns. Every town boy is recruited into the Lookouts, and they protect the people from the forest. And then there are the Daughters. The Daughters are the girls called from the towns. Not every girl, because otherwise, the towns would die out pretty quick. But they are called from the forest to protect the forest from the people and anything else that might harm it. And then the Thornwatch, they protect everybody else. I love the Eyrewood. I love the style of it. I love the story of it. It's more brutal than you might think because it's a forest setting. It's not... There's a food chain there, basically, and there's monsters. So it's not a nice forest. And they are turning it into a series of games, tabletop games. We have gotten to try out Thornwatch twice, and it's super fun. Oh no, you had an incident with a potato peeler? That is one of my fears with peelers. Oh my gosh. Even more good now that I know what cosplay you're going to do. Oh, do tell. I want to hear. I want to know what you're going to be cosplaying. And I am so sorry that you were attacked by a potato peeler. Oh, anytime I use a peeler, I'm afraid that I'm going to cut myself. I've started just using a knife because I'm less afraid that I'm going to cut myself with a knife than I am with a potato peeler. Don't ask me how that works. It just does for me. But yeah, the Eyrewood. So it's kind of like, Robin Hood-y type style. Lots of leather and homespun and wool, earthy colors, simple dyes, like nothing bright. The only bright colors are from the forest. So you'll see like the Lookouts are in lots of browns and greens, and then you can get more kind of like earthy reds and stuff like that. So it's a more muted color palette, and so far all of the drawings are pretty simple, so I might fancy it up a bit because I can. But I'm not entirely sure yet what it's all going to look like. Let's see, it's too big. So with all of my cosplays, I do a lot of planning. You may notice this pose. It's the same one I do every time. One of your friends is going to help you with the ears and the tail. It's going to be a Fushbao cosplay or a chibi anime style. Something kitty. I am not familiar with the term that Fushbao. I don't know what that means. I need to look that up. But that is awesome that you have a friend to help you out with the ears and the tail. The first cosplays are always a lot of help from friends. Fushbao, foxhole or burrow. Oh, a fox thing. Oh, okay. I see now, I see now. Well, very cool, kitty. I hope that you will share pictures once you finish your cosplay. And do take pictures. Something that we are awful about is taking pictures. We just don't document our cosplays. I don't know why. We're just really bad about it. That is really cool. Good for you. Let's see. What am I going to do here? So I want... What do I want? I do want something that's very fitted at the waist. I'm one of those people, I hate how I look in anything that's not fitted at the waist. It just doesn't really work for me personally. I find it fine on other people, it's just, I feel chunky. You forgot you hurt myself. Oh no, you bit your thumb. You bent your thumb. Oh. You should put a band-aid around it to keep yourself from bending your thumb. That's the worst if it's on the crease. Oh. So I want my cosplay to be fitted at the waist. I want kind of like a medieval feel, but like fantasy medieval, not real medieval, so I don't have to do anything period accurate. Because I'm lazy like that. I don't know, I want kind of more of a flowy skirt, nothing really full, so no hoops. Maybe one petticoat just to help give it more shape, but nothing fitted and nothing fluffy. I just want it to flow nicely. So probably at least a circle skirt. I might do multiple circles in there to get more fabric movement. Now something that I was thinking initially was having kind of like a leathery belt there, and then kind of like a tabard kind of coming down. Yeah, sure, let's put that up there. So this part of the cosplay, especially if you're not doing something that's established, if you're not going for just 100%, you want to make sure that you play around with stuff a lot, because you never know when you're going to hit on something that you tried just off of a whim to try something different and it clicks. But I do have a pretty clear idea of like the silhouette that I want. It's the details that I don't know about yet. The specifics. But I am really happy I decided to go with sketches today instead of just more sewing, because I really want to make this cosplay. I have been thinking about it since the first time they showed the Eyrewood, the first time they showed a Daugher of the Eyrewood. I've wanted to cosplay one. Although what I'm going for is more of a mother cosplay actually, because the daughters, they just have like a little, like, you know, a little flower crown basically. But when they showed the mothers have the flowers just growing all through their hair, and it's beautiful, and that's what I want to do. You found a perfect chibi anime fox girl? Oh good, that's awesome that you have a reference to go from. It's going to be easy but a bit hard. I know you can do it. I completely believe in you, Kitty. And it's awesome that you have a friend helping you out. And there's tons of tutorials. I know, just look up a bunch of different tutorials. Don't get stuck on one, because you never know if another one might have a better idea, or maybe it looks more like you want it to look. I know there's a lot of resources for ears and tails. I have a friend who has ears and a tail. Very fancy ones too, very fluffy. She didn't make them, she bought them. But somebody made them. Maybe you can find their tutorial. See, I'm thinking kind of laces along the side there to help cinch everything in, so that when I've got a corset on, I don't have to tighten it to the same amount every single time. Mostly I just like wearing corsets, but I only ever wear them with a cosplay. Something like that. And then, I think it's like a chemise underneath. So like these sleeves and this underskirt right here, they'll be like the same material, the same actual garment actually. And everything else will be kind of an overdress. And I kind of want bracers. Because I like the way they look. You're gonna make hair into cat ears? Oh my goodness. I bet that a big key part of that is the hairspray. If you should find, I think it's Got to Be, and they have this hairspray in this yellow can, and it is heavy duty. Hi there, Two Bears! How are you doing? I hope you are having a good crafternoon. You working on anything good right now? Oh my goodness, I'm so happy right now. You guys came back. Oh, I feel so loved. Yeah, I'm thinking bracers. Some sort of just like a small bracer, kind of a leathery material. To help keep the puffy sleeves in. One thing that I'm kind of dreading for this cosplay, but I know I have to do, I have to weather it. I don't weather things. I either just never have time, or I'm just not brave enough to start damaging something that I just made. But I know that for sure I'm going to need to be weathered like all up the bottom there. It needs to look like it's been dragged through mud and dirt and torn by sticks and leaves, because she's walking through a forest. She is not just like going to a ball. She's not a city girl. She lives in the forest, so nothing she has is going to be pristine. Oh, you're gonna airbrush your armor? Awesome. I'm still learning how to use my airbrush. It's hard. It's really hard. That is so cool. Are you still working on your, what was it called? The suit. The big suit. You remember what it was called? From Fallout?
Power suit?
Power suit. The power armor. You still working on that, or have you moved on? I know that was a big dilemma for you last time. But yeah, kitty, look for the Got to Be, I think it's Got to Be Glued hairspray. It's something like that. Big yellow can. You can get it at Target. I know that most cosplayers use that for their wigs because it's got crazy staying power. So if you want to turn your hair into cat ears, that might be a good one to try. Just need to make sure you clean off the nozzle after you use it, because it can block itself, as I discovered. Oh, you are still working on the power armor. Good for you. I want to see finished pictures of that, because that power armor is no joke. Alright. Got like alien head going on here. So I'm thinking, I've got a brown wig that I used years and years ago for my very second cosplay, I think. No, third maybe. Third. When I did Fire Nation Katara, I got this long brown wig, hugest pain in the ass, but I still have it. And so I am thinking of recurling that, weaving tons of flowers through it and adapting it. Hello there, Hulikusti. I'm sorry if I've completely butchered your name. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good crafternoon. I am working on some planning sketches for my Daughter of the Eyrewood cosplay. Well, Mother of the Eyrewood, because they got better hair. But I'm working on it. And it's something that I have been wanting to do all week, so I'm quite happy right now. Are you working on anything? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to try to pronounce your name again. Hulikusti. Are you working on anything? I would love to hear. I know we've got Two Bears working on his power armor, and Kitty Kitty is super excited because she's going to be making some cat ears and a tail. Or fox. Cat or fox, I believe. Fox girl. Good and bad. Oh no! A mixed day. I'm sorry about that. I hope that the good outweighs the bad. So yeah, what I was thinking is that this would be kind of like a leather or suede or something. Of course, fake, most likely, because I'm cheap. And I kind of wanted to find like a flowery lace to overlay it along the edges right here. And I want to airbrush like the flowers and the leaves to give them a bit of a color, but still have it be really like kind of muted and transparent. So that's why I would go with lace instead of just painting it on, but I'm just not sure. You're gonna draw some pics for a streamer, you know? Oh man, you should draw what you're gonna cosplay too. You can always share. By the way, you guys, ordering steel. Oh my goodness. What are you making? Jeez. And remember guys, if you want, I am currently on my Discord server. I got the voice chat up and you can find that information down below if you'd like to join me. Also, I believe you could share pictures on Discord too. I'd love to see what you're working on. So yeah, kind of lacy flowers and leaves, lightly painted so they've got some color but not like super bright. Because most of the stuff about the clothing in the Eyrewood is it is more muted. It's not punchy colors, it's earth tones. And then of course, cape with a giant hood. Giant hood, you guys. I love hoods. Because one of the first pictures of the Mother of the Eyrewood has this floor-length red cape. Like it's like not bright red, but not dried blood red. Somewhere in between there. Viking-style swords, sharpened and everything. Wow. Man, that is hardcore. So you're a metalworker like regularly? That's really awesome. I'm not bold enough to work in metal. We do foam. Lots of foam. Some resin. Metal. Oh my goodness. Hi Jacob! Thank you so much for the host. I hope you're having a good crafternoon too. How is your armor doing? Alright, Two Bears, good luck with your airbrushing, and I look forward to seeing how you finish that power armor, because that's really cool. I want to do armor again too. We need to do more armor.
You contact Infinity Blade.
We do.
Maybe
We're thinking of making some Infinity Blade armor. Again, because they have such great armor. You work in the army, but for a hobby you work with metal. Man, you are hardcore. You are hardcore, dude. Though let's be honest, if any cosplayer could have a forge and work with actual metal, you know they would. I know I would, in a heartbeat, be like, yes, I want to make a real sword. But, oh, I'm too chicken. I'm too cheap. Oh, car dealers. I need to get my oil changed. Ugh, I've been putting that off still. But I think I've reached the limit of how far I can put that off. So, let's see. Colors. So because we're going for more of a homespun look, nothing is going to be like pure white. So kind of a creamy color for this. And I'm thinking something kind of chiffony, so it has a bit of a texture. Oh, a new tire! Ooh, that sucks. That's worse than an oil change. I'm sorry. Yeah, something kind of chiffony maybe with, so it has texture, because you're not going to find homespun at your local Joann's or Michael's or anything like that. So do the best you can, and also it's a fantasy cosplay. I can do what I want. Let's get these colors in here. But yeah, I am super excited about this cosplay. Even though it's got a wig, and I hate doing wigs, I'm still so excited about this one. And it should be fairly comfortable too, which is a bonus. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's hard. Not having a common car, or an average car, I guess. I don't know. As long as you're happy with your car, though. As long as you're willing to go that extra mile for the maintenance, I guess it's worth it. I'm not a big car person, I'm sorry. But I do need to get my oil changed. So you like to travel then, don't you? I'm a destination person myself. But yeah, 2 cars and a motorcycle. I bet you like to travel. Maybe you like to take road trips. Everyone I know with motorcycles likes to take road trips. And then kind of like a foresty green here. So yeah, what I'm going for is like completely made up Robin Hood medieval fashion. Completely made up, you guys. I am not attempting anything accurate here. I just want to feel pretty. Oh, that sucks if you have too much to do. You could do a bunch of thumbnails. That helps get you started. Get the creative juices flowing. So are you doing original character type designs, Kitty, or are you doing like logo-y UI stuff? If you're doing logo-y UI stuff, you can probably manage it so that you reuse a bunch of it. In case you couldn't tell from mine, I reused a bunch of it. Let's do all this. Oh, come on. Cover those little white spots. There we go. Let me see. Let me find kind of the drawing I'm going off of. it's not the right picture. Nope. I want this one. Oh, is that the page? Nope. That's Pinterest. Why did someone put that up on Pinterest who is not the person? This one. Alright, I found it, you guys. Reached. So that's kind of what I'm going off of. Tomorrow you start the swords. I'm glad that they're paying you, because that's a lot of work to ask to not get paid for. And they paid you nice. Awesome. Good deal for you. A bunch of anime style pics with 2 people in it. Oh, that does sound difficult. Drawing people can be hard. I'm always slow when I'm drawing people. Unless I'm just doodling like this. It's a different matter. I believe in you, kitty kitty. I believe in you. What was I doing? I forgot what I was doing. Nice! That is a good chunk of change for you. Let's see, let's get a little brown in there. Oop, too much. Yeah. So this is kind of generally what I'm thinking. I've got at least one different version in my head. I'm still trying to decide kind of what I want to do. And then kind of like leaves and stuff down here. And then flowers. All right, that's a good way to go about it, kitty. You wanna narrowing it down. That's a good way to go, so that way you're not staring at this huge field of things you need to do. Focus. Good plan, good plan. And then, so not that red really, more like that red. Kind of more like an earthy, dried blood red. Because the daughters and the mothers are not, in the end, they're not entirely human anymore. They're more old gaudy, you know, like blood and survival, that kind of feeling. Because they are the protectors of an ancient and magical forest. They are not damsels. I'd probably be using a bigger tip or bigger pen, but oh well. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have a corset underneath because I want that cinched waist. I want a really flowy skirt and a great big cape with a hood on it, a cloak with a hood. Those are the main elements that I want in this cosplay. That and a wig with flowers on it. Which I know I can pull off. It's going to be a lot easier than the Aisling wig. Of course, everything's going to be easier than that Aisling wig. Oh my god. Hi there, Bartosa. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good crafternoon. What are you working on today? I know we've got some pretty awesome stuff going on in the chat right now. We've got Hulikusti, who is planning how to make some real metal Viking swords. Kitty Kitty is doing a whole bunch of drawing and excited about her first cosplay. And Two Bears is airbrushing his Fallout power armor. We've got a lot of talent in the chat today. And I am planning my next cosplay. It's such a nice feeling to finally get to this point for something you've been wanting to make for years, you know? I mean, it's not like this is anything that I couldn't do before. I just hadn't. I just hadn't done it before. For the makeup for this one, I'm thinking something more natural with, you know, just normal accents like around the eyes and stuff to get so it shows in photos. But I'm also thinking of adding little bits of green, like not tons of green, but like a little bit like on just the inside of the lip there, and like maybe a little bit on the eyes, on the corners, to have like the forest showing through, because I can't use colored contacts. My eyes, I just can't do it. I can wear normal contacts, but I'm too blind for circle lenses, and my eyes are too sensitive for prescription colored contacts. They're just too big. So I'm thinking of adding little hints of green in the face makeup to get that bit of forest creeping in. I think it's a good idea. Don't tell me if you don't think it is. I'm quite proud of it. Alright, you can tell me if you want. I just won't be happy about it. And remember, I've got a Discord channel. You guys can join in, share your work. Also, I am currently on the voice chat, so if you wanted to talk, you're more than welcome to join me. But yeah, I know there is always at least one Eyrewood cosplay at every Penny Arcade Expo, every PAX. Typically lookouts though, lookouts and simple daughters, where they're brand new, because one of the stories, The Tithe, featured a girl who didn't know what was going on. You know, the flowers sprouted from her hair, she felt the call to the forest, but she didn't want it. And so she's more of the daughter that everyone works on, because she's got more of a simple outfit and then a crown of flowers in her hair. So pretty easy to do, very comfortable. But I am an overachiever, and I want to feel spectacular, so I'm going a little bit more fancy. Oh no, you had an accident? I'm so sorry about that. Oh no. Well, I hope that you're gonna heal up just fine, Bartosa. I'm so sorry to hear you had an accident. It really sucks. I don't know what to say. Well, I'm not very eloquent, so all I can think is that really sucks. Let's see, we got the hair. And then, what kind of flowers? I think pink flowers might be cute. I also need green. Because I am going to be using, at least I'm planning to use like little kind of tenderly flowers. So nothing like, no big flowers, but like wildflowers, little viney ones that I can really weave it through the curls of the hair. And lots of them. It's gonna be another heavy wig, you guys. But at least I know how to make those wigs stay on now. I'm so proud of that. Even though it's not anything I did, I just found the right tutorial. If you guys ever need to do a heavy wig, even a light wig, it's a good thing to do for them, and you have trouble keeping wigs on, Arta Wigs has a great tutorial on their YouTube, where basically you get one of those things where it's kind of like a headband, but it's like that in a big circle. Not a big circle, but in a circle. And you just sew it to the inside front of the wig cap, and it holds on so well. For my Ashling wig, I had that in and a couple of wig clips in the back. I didn't have any more bobby pins. I didn't put anything else in there. That wig stayed. I recommend doing that for every wig you have to do, because I've always had a huge problem with the wigs always slipping back, and I hate it. It pisses me off. So I do that to all my wigs now, or I will do that to all my wigs now. I haven't done any more since then. Yellow flowers in the hair, and I missed something over there. And more green here, but maybe a brocade. Get some fancy in. Like something with design to it. But hopefully a lot prettier than that. So that's kind of version 1 of what I was planning to do for a daughter. Maybe that darker brown. I think 2 different colors of brown. Two colors of leather would be good. Offset that. What would a dark brown down here be good on? I don't know. I don't know, you guys. So has anybody been watching anything good? I was so surprised right before starting the stream to see that apparently Zootopia is doing really well. I wasn't convinced about that movie, but if the rating stays, because right now I think it's got like a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes, if that stays, I guess I have to go see it. Oh, now you can hear. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Bartosa. Bartosa, I'm sorry you're having so many problems. But I'm glad that you are still here to come say hi in the chat. I hope that you have a short recovery. Alright, let's see. So all of the versions I've been considering so far for the Eyrewood cosplay are all pretty much going to be like that. Maybe it's the details that are going to change a bit. Oh, yeah? Oh, thank you, Vartosa. I like the colors, too. Kind of earthy forest maiden. That's what I'm going for. So lots of cosplay videos. What anime have you been watching, Kitty? I'm always looking for new anime. I know that we watched Gate right before the stream. That's why I was a little bit late. I couldn't help it. I like Gate so much. I tried reading the manga, but it was just... it was missing stuff. She is, Daughter of the Eyrewood. Let's see, I think I got that. So I put a link in the chat for kind of the reference, or at least a reference. There's a series of stories that take place in the Eyrewood. Mostly lookout stories, but if you look at the Tithe, that's a story about one of the daughters. What I'm going for is more of a mother cosplay because the wig is going to be a lot cooler. But the principle is the same. I'm just fancying it up a bit for my own self-satisfaction because I like making things a little bit more complicated. Oh, Sword Art Online and Blue Exorcist. Those are both really good. How far are you on Sword Art? I know there was a part kind of towards the beginning middle that, oh, it got me. It got me so bad. It was too sad. The Blue Exorcist is really good. That was a fun anime. So again, the details, the small details, the large details don't change. Maybe for this one, a longer bracer. So imagine the first one is more like a cuff, and this one will be more kind of all the way up the arm there. Oop, that's not the eraser at all. Let's do another one here. There we go, good enough. Good enough. Okay, what else have I been watching? I just tried out Luck and Logic. I only got a few episodes in. I haven't gotten very far. It's alright. Nothing particularly groundbreaking. But we have been watching Assassination Classroom. We got caught up on that last night. I like Assassination Classroom. It's so good. But yeah, if I do this, like I was saying before, I'm gonna need to do weathering like all up along through here and on the dress and on there and probably the bracers there and up the sleeves about that. I need to make her look like she's actually of the forest and not just fancy. A thriller anime, Bokudake ga Inai, which is good. It's chilling. It's chilling. Oh no. Alright, let's see. What is this one? What is this one? I got the Boku. I don't know any of the other words. have not tried Erased yet. Oh, I know that I have some people, someone at work was telling me that I should watch that. He bugs me every week to watch it. I just haven't yet. Oh, it's chilling. Oh, oh. Alright, we'll have to try that. We'll have to try that one. Now, is it like scary or is it more like suspense? Because if it's jump scares, I'm not gonna like it. You got to the point where Asuna is inside the cage of Alfheim. Oh. Oh. Yeah, you've got like a whole nother season after that. Okay, so you got past the part that made me sad. You got past, it was the part with the guild that he joined so very briefly. That was so sad. Okay, so it's not jump scary, but it is scary. Alright. And it's time. You like time stuff. Alright, Bartosa. We'll try that one out.
It's hard to compete with Madoka Magica.
Oh, Madoka Magica. That was so...
In terms of time anime.
Oh my god. If you haven't watched Madoka Magica, you should watch it. It looks fluffy, but it's like the darker side of magical girls. And there's time travel. Oh, you know, Kitty, yeah. Yeah, you know. Oh no, oh. Abuse and stuff is always heartbreaking. Oh no, it's gonna make me sad. Is this anime gonna make me sad? Oh. Ugh. Of course, it's easy to make me sad. It's easy. Alright, where were we? So this time... What was I doing this time? Again, I kind of like the bit of leather right there. And a fitted waist again. But for this one, seam right in there. I know. Kitty, it was to show the consequences. It was to make it more real, the fact that they were in a death game. It had to be done. But for this one, I'm thinking like a thick belt right there. And probably with, I might make it out of foam so I can do like leaves. Kind of like a scaled belt with like some leaves and stuff, like foresty, a little fancy. Give me an excuse to use my wood burner. Carve those details into that foam. I really need a reason to use my wood burner. It's brand new and I haven't done it. My favorite character in sword art, I think it's the Yui. I think that's her name. The Daugher. The little fairy, the program, whatever you want to call her. I think she's my favorite because she's adorable. And then what? Then what, you guys? Don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking of keeping a simple neckline for all of it. Yeah, she is just so cute. Of course, I really liked it when they got to the game with the flying. I was just like, why would anybody play anything else? You can fly in like true virtual reality. That's amazing. I wouldn't play anything but that. She is very sweet. I think Asuna gets on my nerves sometimes. Yeah, I liked Yui. Again, got the big hood, which would probably not be up for most of the cosplay. I would likely keep it down. But yeah, simple neckline because I'm going to have the big hood there. There's really no point in getting that too fancy. And then I was considering making her part of the Thorn Watch. I think it's a big, no longer secret anymore. I don't know if I should say anything though.
I don't think you can make a part of the watch.
I can't? Why?
If she's a daughter.
What? There's the Sage. There's daughters in the Thorn Watch.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine, I won't make her part of the Thorn Watch. Jeez. Give her a staff though.
Uh-huh.
Because why not? If I can draw it right there. There. Ha! Can't stop me from making a staff.
I can't. In fact, I'll probably be helping you make a staff.
You probably would help me make a staff. You drew a picture of Yui, Kirito, and Asuna? Very nice. I did love that part when they were playing Happy Family together. That was sweet. And sad because it had to end. So there we go. Tree branch staff. There we go. If you haven't watched Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, you should. It sounds super harem-y, but it's really good. It's not as harem-y as you would think it would be. It's only a little bit harem-y. Yeah, I think that a branchy staff with like leaves and some flowers or something on it, I think would be really cool. Let's see. Let's get the hair here again. Yeah, I think that is this one. So pretty much the same colors again. The main difference is that instead of the tabard, there's a belt right there, and then possibly like a leather up here as well. Let's start coloring. There. And yeah, all these little scales would be kind of embossed, I guess, with leafy designs. Same thing with the bracers. I don't know what designs I would end up doing, but something leafy, something foresty. likely made out of foam and then just painted. It's painted to look like leather. I know there's lots of tutorials about how to do that. Put that hair in. A little bit right there. And then just because you can. It's very up the color right there. Two different kinds of leather. Wahaha. And then of course this nice foresty green again. But yeah, this is the one that I'm more leaning towards because it's simpler. This is more fantasy, but to keep in the spirit of the Eyrewood, there's just not much embellishment there, which is why I would add it in the leathery details and the design. But I still want like just a little bit of brocade. I just can't stop myself. A black and white and red dress. Awesome! Going with the very stark colors like that, always a good choice. Are you going to be making the dress or are you going to be modifying it? I know I tend to make stuff because I'm not so good at modifying. I can modify patterns, I'm just not great at modifying existing clothing. Not that I've tried much. You think a dark forest green cloak? Should I make a red dress then? Yeah, maybe, maybe. Oh, you got your tire? Good! I am glad that you got your tire. I know that car stuff is a pain in the ass when stuff goes wrong. It's more green and brown. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to change up the colors. Maybe I would like a red dress and a green cloak. Maybe I would. Let's go, kind of that earthy red again, and then here we'll do that green. Alright, let's color this in. Wrong color. There. Let's get a bigger brush here. And none of these colors are really set in stone because it depends a lot on what the fabric store has, of course. You can't wait for summer. Oh, you live where there's snow? Oh. I'm one of those people, I never want to live where it snows. I don't think I would be brave enough to drive in the snow. It's kind of scary. Also, I think my dogs would hate it. They would never go outside. Make it depending on if you can find a dress that you can sort of modify. That works. Check out Joann's, I know, has patterns. I don't know if Michael's does, but check out your local fabric store and see if there's any simple patterns that you could adapt as well. Most of the times the patterns will have some sort of a difficulty rating, but it's not as scary as you would think as long as you have a sewing machine. Just make sure that if you do get a pattern, you pay attention to the fabric recommendations on the back of the packaging, on the back of the envelope that the pattern comes in, because they recommend certain fabrics for a reason. Their dresses are made to go with that particular fabric. I didn't learn that quick enough, and then I made a dress out of completely the wrong fabric, and it just didn't work. Need a red gem. When you think of earthy, think of the fall season and walking in the forest. Ah, I love fall. I wish that we got more leaves that changed here in California. Clothes that make her almost one. The thing is that she's not just from the forest. She is a girl who was called from the town. And this forest is a bloody place, which is why I want to keep red in there somehow. At least for me. But I will try various color combinations, and if I find something amazing at the store, then I'll probably just go with it. As long as it's one of these colors. But yeah, if you read the Lookout stories over on Penny Arcade, I think someone, at least one person, dies in each one. Hi there, Jet Set Geometry. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good Crafternoon. It's been a while since I've seen you. Are you working on anything amazing? I know we've got some awesome projects going on in the chat right now. Although, I have to admit, I think that Hulikusti, your real metal Viking swords, I think those take the cake today. That's going to be hard to beat. I do live in California, where it's always sunny and we have 2 seasons. T-shirt weather and jacket weather. That's our seasons. Although it's been raining today, which has been nice because we need it. Spring can be great too. I just don't like summer in the forest. It's always dry. It's always too dry. But fall is beautiful. But spring smells all brand new. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Forest Not Bloody. This is a fantasy forest. This is going off of a story that was written by the guys from Penny Arcade, where it's a world that is covered in a magical forest, and it's filled with monsters. So it is a bloody forest. And also, if you think about it, in every forest you've got a food chain. If that's not bloody, I don't know what is. The red stands out too much to you? I kind of like the red. I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see. We have the ability to try different things when we're just sketching. I think I missed a lot of things. Yeah, it is a very medievally kind of made-up Robin Hood stylistic thing going on. I'm not trying for anything period accurate because I'm too lazy for that. But yeah, nothing super punchy. But I know that like reds and greens are a fairly easy dye to get, I think. As long as you're not going for very bright red. Oh, you can't sew? I'm sure you could learn. I maintain that anyone can learn how. Oh, thank you, kitty. I'm pretty proud of how this is looking. I will admit that. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do in there. I kind of want to do something a little fancy in there. Like I said earlier, I kind of want a brocade in there just for a little bit of a detail. Since she can't be from the Thorn March.
You could do what we're gonna do for the phone watch.
Just the pin.
Okay.
Just the pin. Alright, I'm missing stuff. We do sort of get fall. It's just that we don't have very many trees that change. But it gets dry and it gets colder. We have a very brief fall. Oh man, you're making 11 swords? Jeez. It's a good thing they're paying you well then. The rest of the US is so boring? I don't know. Utah is beautiful. I don't remember what the park is called, but it's absolutely beautiful with all the rock formations. Try to make the red like wine red. I'm kind of going kind of like drying blood red is kind of what I'm going for. But wine could work too. Like I said, it all depends on what the store's got, because I'm just gonna go for whatever's closest to what I'm thinking. I'm not gonna stress out about it too much. The mask is steel. What are they requesting? Oh, Kitty, you're in England? Alright, and Hulakusti, where are you? You always wanted to check out California. Where are you? Because I know you said you got snow. I'm curious. I am curious. Bobbins can be tricky. If you have a sewing machine, read the manual. Chances are they've got some answers in there for you. And I know a lot of the newer sewing machines have like auto threading stuff, which can be complicated at first, but you get used to it fairly quickly. Leaves everywhere rotting on the ground and lots of rain. Well, that takes the beauty out of fall, rotting leaves. Oh, goodness. Finland? That's amazing. I have never been to Europe or England. I want to go. I just haven't. We should travel one day. One day. When we're rich, we'll travel. That's how everyone thinks though, right? Awesome! So cool, so cool. You guys, I get so happy when there's people from such faraway places in the chat. It's just like, the age we live in is amazing, you know? I remember a time when this wasn't possible. Oh, does that tell my age? Jeez. But it is spectacular that we can communicate from so far away so easily. Get the rest of this color in there. I know there was a cosplayer whose blog I was obsessed with for a month, like a year ago. I read through everything she had pretty much, and her main focus was like period accurate stuff. That wasn't the only thing she made, but it was her big thing. And she would do all the research and adapt the old patterns, and she made some beautiful stuff. And I can't remember who she was now. And I really wanted to look at, like, there's something that she did that I really wanted to look at for this, and I just can't find it now. I'm so sad. Oh, that period accurate stuff from like Renaissance and all that. No joke right there. Those are complicated garments. Especially since there like weren't any buttons. Everything is laces and hooks. You would go to a place that snows half the time? You've adapted to be a rain person? I like the rain. Although he likes to say that I'm solar powered. I do get depressed if I don't go out in the sun often, or if there's no sun. But I like the rain. You like the green cloak, Bartosa? It is rather nice. I do like that green too. I was just focused on the picture that I was going off of where she had a red, well, kind of a maroony, but it's red. It's close enough to red. You could go and sit in the rain? Ah! I hate getting wet. That's my only thing. I like the rain, but I cannot stand getting wet when it's not on my terms. Like, I'll only swim if I want to. Otherwise, I'm just like, no, if you splash me, I'm gonna get so mad. I don't like getting splashed, and I don't like getting wet if I don't want to. I like the staff, too. It kind of gives you something to do with your hands. Also, a good weapon can always add a lot to a costume. And I don't think we've made a staff before. That would be new.
Ironic.
I know, right? We've made swords, portal guns, daggers. We're going to be making some pistols on Tuesday. But we have not made a staff. Although I do know one of the things you have to be careful of with staves is transport. You want to be able to take it apart halfway down so you can ship it in a smaller box. I think that's the tricky part. So if I mix idea 1 with idea 2, I mean, they are pretty similar as it is. But what are you thinking? What would you like to see in particular in version 3? Yeah, let's just put some green in there. Jet Set, you're a penguin? You're a penguin? That's cute. Let's put the flowers in there. Oh, who is texting me? So the daughters are not really, I don't know. They're gods, basically. They're humans turned gods. Because they get all the power of the forest to use to protect the forest. So you dress up in a tuxedo and then you just go sliding on your stomach? You do that regularly? A human penguin? So you like the brown center in the first one. So you kind of want to see the first one with the colors of the second one. Okay. Let's change up the colors then a little bit. Yeah, we can change this up. Let's see. Why can't I draw on this layer? And I will delete you, layer. So I don't know why you won't let me draw. There we go. There we go. You like the center brown there, Bartosa? Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Stop texting me. Busy. Yep, that's too low. Alright. This got a bit wonky. Let's see. Delete that. Duplicate that. So we're thinking red dress. I kind of want to change up the top of it though. don't know. I'm drawing this wrong. Drawing this wrong. What? You should get some sleep there, kitty. Sleep's important. Let's see. Because I kind of like the belt around the waist here. I think it's cute. And mostly I want to have an excuse to use my wood burner, as I said earlier.
You can make the tabard thicker and burn your designs onto it.
Yeah, I could do that too. Do them both! Fancy. Let's see here. Because I kind of like the tabard too. I mean, I drew it after all. Of course I like it. Something more like that, but here. Yeah, okay. Because, yeah, this is a medieval kind of a thing. Lots of leather. At least as far as my fantasy trained mind goes. Lots of leather. Really? You... Kitty. Kitty. Sleep is good for you. You know, sleep is very good for you. You should make sure you get it regularly. And I like the longer bracers. Let's get those bracers long again. All right. Just that bit. Alright, what am I missing here? Kitty, regular sleep. Don't underestimate it. Especially as you get older. Don't underestimate the value of regular sleep. I know it can be hard to tear yourself away from that anime you've been binge watching. Or that book you've been reading. But sometimes you just have to do it. You're possibly insane or dead if you don't sleep enough. Alright, let's start coloring this. I lost all my colors. Oops. Let's get that green back. Alright, so we're going for the green cape again. Chat just got serious. Sleep. Serious business. I guess I do have to consider the flowers that I get too, and how I'm coloring this. Because if I get very bright flowers, then I'm probably going to want a bit of a brighter color overall? I don't know. Of course, I could always paint the flowers a bit to get them more of that muted tone. Not afraid to do that. Bright flowers are fine, you think? They'll go with the earthy tones? Well, I hope so, because I kind of like these earthy tones.
I think you could totally do LEDs inside the flowers.
You think so? Make them magical?
Yeah.
Oh man, I like that idea. As long as it doesn't make my head too hot. The LEDs are actually pretty cool, aren't they? They don't get hot.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Okay. Get some LED Christmas lights. Weave them through the wig.
Yeah.
How can you stay awake for 40 hours? Oh my goodness. I don't know, you guys. I need to sleep at least, at minimum 7 hours. My ideal is 9 to 10. Every day. I take my sleeping very seriously. I don't think I could stay awake for 40 hours. I think back in college I had to pull an all-nighter twice in a week once. And I couldn't make it through that day. It's like, alright, I stayed up all night, I got to class, and I fell asleep in class. I've never been able to do all-nighters. That's a good point, Jet Set. You don't look at a landscape, see a flower, and say, ugh, that color doesn't go. It ruins everything. That is very true. That is very true. Thank you for that. I'm gonna be giggling about that for a while. Thank you. Oh. The flower doesn't ruin the landscape. Oh, that makes me giggle. That makes me giggle. Let's turn that off again. Alright. Let's get some of this leather back in here.
I think having the red in the front.
In the dress?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be red again. I just haven't got to the red again yet.
Oh, okay.
I am also a big fan of flowers, Jet Set. I'm just sad I can't have them in the house because my cats always try to eat them. Also, I can't have them outside the house because I can't keep them alive. But that's that's on me. That's not on the flowers or the cats. They gave soldiers speed to keep them awake? Oh my goodness. World War II. Crazy time. For so many reasons. Of course then, a lot of things used to have some questionable ingredients in them, including stuff like Coca-Cola. Misty, that sounds like a terrible drink. I don't know what's in there, but if it's got everything you can put in a drink, it's gotta be terrible. Alright, alright. I'm trying to read. I swear, I'm just seeing like wall of text right now. Yeah, sometimes you need to pull all-nighters for cosplay, but you do hit that point where you realize you're just ruining everything and you have to go to bed. You don't want to, you know, come back the next morning and say, what the hell was I thinking? I was too sleepy to do this. Let's see, let's get this red and the darker brown again. Alright. I do not know who... I don't even know how to pronounce in Finnish. Simo Hyatt. Haiha? That's just what it looks like to me. Simo. I'm just gonna say Simo. I don't know who that is. What does he do? Oop, that's the wrong color. Or is that the right color? No, it's the wrong color. Alright guys, I need you to weigh in. Light colored bracers or dark colored bracers? What do you think would go best right now? I can't decide. Oh, a sniper. Got it. Very productive sniper, it sounds like. 700 kills. Jeez. That's kind of hard to comprehend. Man, that's a lot. That's a lot. He was a crazy World War II sniper. He survived getting shot in the jaw? What? That's a tough dude. Man. Got shot in the jaw, survived World War II, and lived to be 97. As what is probably the most prolific sniper ever. Man. I had not heard of him. Get a little bit of a history lesson here. Now I know. Now I know about Sino. Yeah, I'll probably need a translator. I'll have to look that up later. 'Cause I don't know. I am one of those terrible, terrible Americans who could only speak English. I tried to learn Spanish. I really tried. For my family. I tried. And it just didn't stick. Before the war, he was a farmer? Wow. Life takes crazy turns for some people. Yes, I would love a translation, Kitty. I would love that. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to scroll back through the chat later so I can find a translator and figure it out. Alright, So we got some red in there, got a little bit of brown. Stay awake, do not use drugs, I warned you. You should get some sleep though, kitty. You should get some sleep. I can't decide. What do you think? Light bracers or dark bracers?
Oh, when you see them both.
Fine. There's a dark bracer. And there's a light bracer. You think light bracers, Jet Set? I know you'll get it in a couple of seconds. What do you think?
I like the light bracers matching the tabard. I think that's the correct match.
Okay. No, Jet Set, you changed your mind? So I've got 1 vote for light, 1 maybe vote for light as well, possibly changing your mind. Anyone else have an opinion here? You have no idea? I think I might be a bit inclined towards the dark one, but I can see the value in making it light.
You go with the dark one. It's honestly not,
I don't know.
it's not like, oh, this is clearly better.
Because that way all the detail stuff is dark.
That's fine then.
Okay. I don't know. I think my vote is for dark. Anyone else have input?
Your vote is the one that matters.
But I can be wrong. I might be wrong.
Nope. You can't be.
I can't be because it's my creation.
Uh-huh.
Alright, let's get that in there. And then over here. What are you saying now, kitty? What are you saying now? I've never been able to speak German. You're I know, Jet Set, that's the problem here. That's the problem. I think that mirroring the belt might be better because then that light strip will stand out more. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, kitty. Alright, kitty. As long as you've agreed to get some sleep. That makes me happy. That's all I want for you. Some sleep to preserve your sanity. Alright, let's see that dark bracer in there. And hair. Alright. I do kind of want to play with the colors a little bit. I want to see how it would look, I guess, with more greens and without the red entirely. So let's see. I'm just going to recolor this one just to see what a slight color change might do. Although you'd think I would learn the hotkeys for this at some point, but no, I don't. I just don't learn those hotkeys. You're one of those lucky people who can learn languages. I am very jealous, Kitty. Like 100% jealous right now. Because I just am terrible at language. No, I don't use the hotkeys. I just click on stuff. I only really recently started using this program. So I just don't know the hotkeys. And I haven't taken the time to learn them. But I like this program. I like that it actually records the difference in the line weight. I use GIMP for all of my photo editing stuff, and it's like a free version of Photoshop, and it just is not good at pen pressure. I don't know if I need to update it or something, but it's just not good at pen pressure. I'll learn them eventually, Jet said. I will. I will. I'm just so lazy. I'm just so lazy I do the version that takes more work. Alright. So for this one, I'm going to do a green dress, I guess. Get lots of greens. I don't know. Let's just do that. So I think with the brown, with the leather, I've got enough brown. I don't want to be wearing an all brown dress. I think that might be too earthy. Not enough forest. Well, there may be a darker green for the cloak. We'll see. We shall see. Are you saying you speak Korean? Koreha Nihongo? No, Nihongo is Japanese. Are you saying you speak Japanese? Is that what you mean? This is Japanese. Ah. Koreha. At least I knew what the Nihongo meant. I know random words in Japanese thanks to all of my anime watching. Alright, let's go for springy green, I guess. No, I don't know if I like the springy green. It might be too bright. What may need to happen is do that, and then do that. Get a darker green in here. What if we change this to a really dark green? I might like this green overall better. Alright, what does that mean? This is Swedish? That was my guess. That was going to be my guess, that you were saying this is Swedish. That might be a better green overall. You know? Something richer. I like that green. Alright. And then here, oops, get that previous green. Chances are I might need to dye something for this. Ugh, dyeing is a pain in the butt. Especially if you get the dye on you or your clothing. It is not coming out. You're gonna stop now, Kitty? How many more do you know? How many more do you know? I don't know. I think we've got a friend who can say, I don't speak this language in many languages, probably butchering the pronunciation every single time. Do I hear a cat mewing? I don't know. I thought I heard my cat. You know a lot more, Kitty? Do you know how to say more than this is this language? I'm sorry, like I said, I've got a friend who can say I don't speak this language, and that's the only thing he can say. I have to ask. I have to ask. That bothers me. There. So I guess this is more springy, I feel. Bit of a spring ensemble. Let's get that cream again. You like the green and that brown top? This one right there? I kind of like that too. They're the opposite of what's going on here, because out of necessity. Although maybe I could alternate it. It might look a little weird though. What do you know? Got a lot more planning to do with this cosplay before I get started. Alright. Then let's put that hair in. Alright, Kitty, I believe you. I believe you. But seriously, I am so jealous of anyone who can speak multiple languages. Because I want to, it just never stuck. Let's get some flowers in here. And in there. Like I said, there's gonna be lots of flowers. Ah, why is this expanding? Alright, let's lock that transparency again. Get in some more of this dark green. I wonder if Two Bears is still in here. I want to hear how the airbrushing is going. I think he was just laying down a base coat, but I still want to know. I still want to know how he's doing. You speak more English, German, and Japanese. Well, that's 2 more languages than I speak. So good job, kitty. Good job. I'm 100% serious when I say I am jealous. 100%. Is it bad that I want to learn Japanese so that I can pay more attention to the anime and less attention to the subtitles? Also, I could watch more dramas. Alright, let's get this. You're too far. There we go. So I definitely like the darker green. But it is a big decision whether to do the tabard or this one. I think if I did this one, then I would put some designs into that top right there as well. May need to paint them on depending on what happens. But I don't know. I don't know. But overall, these are kind of my 2, well, 3 now, ideas for the way that I'm taking this cosplay. Anything else you guys think I should try for right now? Real quick, real quick. 'Cause I do not know. Because yeah, I think swapping this out so that I have that same top right there, I don't think it would work with the tabard. I think it would be a little bit just odd. I could probably do it. Sure, I could manage to construct it. It just might not look right. Alright, kitty. Thank you again so much for joining me. Good luck with all of your drawing. And get your sleep. Sleep is good for you. Don't deny it. But yeah, it just doesn't look right that way. You know?
Which way?
The same way as the green here. So I swapped out the brown in the middle for the red. I just feel like it doesn't quite look right.
Okay.
Yeah, the tabard does give a lot more interest, but there will be weathering. So all down here, pretty much, and then probably like there on the sleeves, is going to be weathered because she wanders the forest. Her dresses aren't beautiful. They don't stay pretty. So there will be more lower interest, at least as far as, you know, that goes.
I think a lot of your interest is going to be in the headpiece.
Yeah, a lot of the interest is going to be in the headpiece.
Think about how you're going to do that. I was trying to find that.
I have ideas.
I was trying to find the Penny Arcade comic where there was the older daughter.
Yeah,
with
the
the
mother.
2 L's. With the L.
Oh, that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't have it listed under.
I know, they don't. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, this one. Her.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, but I'm not wearing that.
Oh yeah, no.
So the one he's thinking of, there have been multiple stories set in the Eyrewood, is this.
And then you thought about this one too, right?
Hmm? There's her. And then, yeah, I've thought about her too. But I want to look fancy.
Okay. Yes, I think
There's no harm in wanting to look a little fancy.
I think the really simple ones make sense because they are out in the forest. And
Yeah.
they're basically just putting on whatever they can find.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I know you want it to be fancy.
I know. I do want to be fancy.
The only reason I said that it would be weird for the weird to do.
Oh, and someone did cosplay that one.
Yeah, it'd be weird to do a Thornwatch just because the Thornwatch we're not exactly welcoming of her.
Yeah, the way the material moves is really important. That's why I'm going for more of a lightweight, kind of on the underskirt. I was thinking something more chiffon-y or like with a bit of a texture to it, but really light, and then I'll have a heavier underskirt underneath it just so nothing's see-through. Because I want that to flow. I do. But I also want that green in there. Yeah, I can't find the other one. Eyrewood, the Tithe.
Which one are you looking for?
The one with the horns.
Horn?
That one, but in the drawing. I don't know. But yeah, so a lot to think about here because I am adapting it for my own desire to have something more pretty. Because like I said, there are a lot of, there are a number of Daugher cosplays and Lookout cosplays, but the reason there are is because it's like you've got a cloak, you make yourself a simple tunic, get a belt and some boots, and ta-da, you're done. But I want something more fantasy and more fancy because I like looking a bit fancy when I cosplay. And also, I'm not wearing anything that shows my midriff. That's just not happening. And I'm not convinced I could make a wrap top and a, I don't know, towel skirt look good as a cosplay. And I want to do something more medieval, more Robin Hood. I want to, and that's important too. What you want to do matters. So I've got some more thinking to do, but you guys can always check out the Daugher's stuff on Penny Arcade. Just Google Penny Arcade, you'll find it. Although they don't have all of their Eyrewood stuff listed under that search. Sadly, I don't know why. Let's see. Yeah, it's about 3 o'clock now, right now, you guys. I know I did start a little bit late. But not that late. I think we're about on time here. So I've got some more thinking to do about my daughter, but thank you guys so much for helping me out. I kind of like this one with the tabard and everything, but I may need to stick with something simpler just to keep within the spirit of the comic and the story. Alright, I'm going to switch these back also because I don't like the way they are right now. Switch, switch. So I need to figure it out. But I know that I will because I'm determined to make this. I may end up doing the wig first because I know what I want to do for that. And maybe everything else will just come afterwards. We'll see. We'll see. But I might just make a staff because I want to have a staff. Alrighty. So you guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you had a good Crafternoon. I know I did. We worked on some sketches for a Daugher of the Eyrewood cosplay from a side story from the guys at Penny Arcade. I will be back at 5:30. We're going to play some more Gigantic. So if you want to join me, just let me know. You can whisper or message me here on Twitch. Or you could join my Discord server. The link's down below. Also, if you want to join my Discord, we can share more cosplay pictures and talk about stuff even when I'm not streaming. I would love to have you. Because you guys work on some amazing stuff. I mean, come on. Swords? Metal swords? Tell me that's not amazing. If you try to tell me that's not amazing, you're lying. 100% you're lying. You can follow me on Twitter for scheduling announcements, and yeah, I think that's everything. I'll see you guys again at 5:30. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Nope. Alright.